and I lost my dog yesterday, and I posted a video about it, and it was the freaking hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life. I wish she would have just gone like in sleep. And I talked to a spiritual healer who talks to animals. She had said that he wanted to go in his sleep, but he wasn't in pain because he was on a lot of pain med, and he just wouldn't go. He just was like eating and eating and eating, and I just kept trying to give him a good lifestyle. I would take him to the beach even though he couldn't walk. He was pissing and pooping in his sleep, and he had no function in his back legs, and I just I kept postponing it and trying to keep it off, and there's like nothing else you can do. And it's just one of those things in life. Her, it's just like, where my first thinking is, where's Costa? And I turn around and he's not there. And it's like every single noise and every single thing just reminds you of him. And it's just like 15 years of my life dedicated to this animal. You're all of a sudden, he's gone. It's like, no matter what way you want to put it, like I tried to reframe it and put it as like, he's moved on to something new. He's whatever, he's in the spiritual realm, and he's out giving love to someone else, or he's still with me. And nothing you can really say is going to take away the pain. I think you can try to rationalize it any way possible, and I don't have any regrets about it. Even though it's like I still like having to put him to sleep, it's like I feel like I somehow give up. I was the one that had to make that call. And my mom, I remember before we were taking him to the vet to get him put down, he can stay another week or two, and I got so upset because I was like, why are you bringing that up now? We're going to the vet to do this. Like, after it's been 2 years, this dog has not been able to walk, and I've been carrying him. I still would do it because it's like my best friend, so I'm not going to put something that is making my life uncomfortable, or it's just part of that's my priority, or that's my obligation. And you would have kept eating, and you could have just kept giving him pain pills, and I think you get to a point what else can you do? And there was really nothing else that I could do. But having to put him to sleep is I still feel like my mind feels like I gave up on him. I don't know how you can put it any way. I hate the idea of putting an animal to sleep. It didn't seem very, I know it's we don't want them to suffer, and so it's kind of basically just going to sleep. And but they gave him some morphine or something so he's knocked out, and he's started snoring, and then she's like, okay, and just puts in the whatever it is that stops the heart, and he's passed over, and it's just she's like, do you want to stay? And I'm like, no, I want to get out of the room. He's gone. I don't want to sit with his body and lay with him. He's not there anymore. And I just remember leaving the room and leaving the hospital, and then I got on a plane because I said I don't want to be around any of the shit that reminds me, because everything in my house, every place I go to, the beach, everything reminds me of him. So I said, okay, I'm gonna get on the plane, heck out of here. And then I got on the plane, I woke up say this morning, and then on the plane overnight, and then I was like, oh my god, that really did happen. And then today it was just I went to the gym and everything. I came back, I hear noises, and I would think, oh, it's your mind is, I don't think our minds are really prepared to handle it. I mean, it's just one of those things that it takes time to process, and no matter how we try to process it all right now, because we want to heal, and we're trying to heal, and we're trying to make sense of it, and it doesn't take away the pain. It's just part of life. I think it's what do we learn these experiences? Because when there's so much pain involved, I think that those are the opportunities that provide us with knowledge and the most experience. We get something out of it, and pain is such a big driver. And pain, if you look at it, is information. And why is there pain? Why it hurts so much? Because how much love you gave him and how much love he gave me. And so if I love something that much, then that's why it hurt. And someone so much, and they leave your life, if it's regardless of a death or just leaving your life. Or in relationships, I could see the same thing. You have someone that's so close with you, and then they decide to break up with you, and they want to move on with their life, and it's your life is now going to be without that person. There's dogs barking. Of course, everything reminds me of him. It's just crazy. And it's Costa Rica. I try to learn what are the reasons behind people with addiction problems too, is we would try to drown out that pain because it hurts so much. And I think a lot of people that are very sensitive in life, and they go through life, if you're like me, we feel things so deeply, and in a good way, but then also in the bad way. It's everything has a positive and negative equal. You have so much love for something, you're gonna have so much pain for something. And so it's that pain is where we find that love, and it's the struggle is where we find that love. The success comes from the struggle. So you don't have the success without the struggle. You don't have the pain without the love. You don't have the bright without the darkness. It's like everything has its equal opposite. And if you look at it in that sense, then instead of using drugs to drown it out, because I think in the past that was what I would do, and be honest with you, I did do it all yesterday. My brain was just, man, I still have like nightmares. Well, I mean, it's only been a day, but when I went to sleep twice when I got here, and I was just so exhausted. Like it takes so much energy out of you to be in such a like very emotional experience like that. It just zaps energy from you. And you know, we got him a cake and said Pura Vida. My mom called me. She said, "Oh, that actually means until we meet again," or something. She didn't mean to put it on there. I just started breaking down. Like, it's gonna be a long time, and I won't miss his like kisses. I'll miss being by him. I'll miss everything about him. And I think so. We all have these painful and experiences, and we learn to drown them out. And you're very sensitive, and you feel things deeply. You feel the beauty in life. I think you feel some things that other people can't. I think because we are more aware and we're more susceptible to being emotionally, I don't want to say enlightened, but more attuned to what's going on around us. And it's like we're take on things that hurt so much too. And so it's easy for people with addiction problems. I think a lot of them that have addiction problems too is that they don't really have addiction problems. It's just that they love so much, and they like hold on so much, and a lot of times is they can't handle the pain. Some people is like my freaking friend, like my life is people that have been through the most pain have seemed to be the more, I think, I at least hope that they're usually the most kindest, because they know how it hurt and they've taken off so much pain. And I think in going towards success, I think in any area of life is like we have to deal with pain, and we have to face it, and we have to handle it somehow emotionally in order to move up in our vibration and move up in whatever skill we are trying to do, or whatever business we are trying to do. Because you're not going to go and get that success, that whatever that is that you want, without hurting. It just doesn't work. You're going to flop. Some things are just going to hit you out of nowhere, and you're going to take on a lot of people's hate. And it's like the moth to the flame, you know? When you really step out into the world and you start striving to be yourself, and you stop caring what other people think about you, and you start doing what you feel is true to you, you get a lot of people that don't like, because they don't know how to do that, and they don't want to because it hurt, and you're already taking on the pain. So it's just like, and they're just gonna come after you, and they're gonna try to, because they have nothing freaking better to do. People that are bored in their life, that don't like have anything better to do, they see anyone trying something different, anyone trying to live out their what's true to them, whatever it is. I think every single person we have something that is true to us, that's helping other people to achieve theirs. Sometimes like it may be just doing something that leads you to the next level, and maybe helping someone that's on their journey. Sometimes that whatever that journey is that's true to you is always going to be harder. It's always going to be more struggle. It's why the 99% of people don't. If you want to be 1%, if you want to be top percent, like you're going to be having to deal with pain. And so I look at this like losing my dog is, I mean, it's not new for me for struggling. I failed at every single thing that I've tried, fallen flat on every single thing that I've tried. Like not everything, but 9 out of 10, you know? And the thing is I'm not going to stop. Pain for me is like, that's just like my middle name. I'm not going to give up. I think you have to get used to it, whatever you're going to do. I think just get used to pain, you get used to struggle, you get used to being alone. And a lot of times you are alone in this. And I think of who I could like talk to about it, and it's like no matter what, whoever, they aren't going to fix it. So I just thought of all the things that I can learn from this. And I think every lesson has something, every experience has something to learn. And if you're aware enough and you're strong enough to see it, get on, the world is yours, you know? The world is really yours for doing whatever the hell you, I believe that eventually you will get it. It takes time, and it takes effort, and it takes a lot of you saying to people, screw you. And then once you say that, it's like, we'll start moving out of the way. Things start clicking, and that's just how it is. But at first you have to really, really find what inside, what makes you happy, gives you purpose. My dog was my purpose that time period, and he showed me how to love. He showed me how to to care for someone, something outside of yourself, and to make your life not just you, and sometimes you have to sacrifice for someone else or for something. Like, animals teach us so much, literally insane. They're like a lesson of life, and if we're willing to sit there and learn and listen, because unconditional love, like Costa could teach me a million things. He went blind, and one day after I used to be blind, now I'm blind. As humans, we would have been like, now we're blind, and then we'd be like so depressed because we were blind and we used to not be blind, and then we'd have to like terms with like, this is our life now. And some people probably couldn't, some people could, but it's not that easy. But you know, for dogs, it was like, okay, this is my life now. And so at that point, it was like he was in pain, and so he started crying, and then we give him some tramadol, and then he would stop crying. But then it was like he started knowing when you're putting tramadol in the food, and then he didn't want the food anymore because you're putting, he like knew that you were trying to put the pills inside him, and he didn't want the pills. I got to a point where it was like he like the hole, it was turning into a hole in his leg, and I was like, this isn't gonna get better, and it's just gonna get worse. And I don't know if the pain pills are gonna be able to make him, like, I was trying to make some movies, and I just think that right now it's like my mind is on like what can I learn from this experience. And I learned the true power of love when I was laying with him and just kissing him, and I could just feel the love between him and I, and the idea that how much I would do for an animal, you know, how much for the love of an animal. And here we are as humans bombing each other and killing each other and fighting over politics and all this shit. And it's like, when you really get down to truly loving someone, it's like none of that matters. It's like hate and all this stuff is just like, none of that matters. And you really find that like the love that you have for people, and just like in general, it's like all the other stuff is just nonsense. And it's like the power of love is really, really powerful, because it could like transform relationships. It can transform everything, I believe, in the whole world. People can just really find themselves and find the true love inside themselves, learn to love themselves, because I think a lot of it is people are hating. They hate themselves, they hate the world, they hate themselves, they hate their job, they hate everything. And then it's like media, it makes it easy for like, let's project all that hate onto these because they look different, or these people because they act different, or they believe in this. You're just like, man, if you just found love inside yourself, we would be able to transform everything. And I mean that as true as I can, because I'm not trying to, I'm not a hippie, but I just believe in love, and I think there's so much power to it. So power to change everything, I believe. I think that's what he taught me, and I think that's what I think from him teaching me that, I think it's my time to teach that to others. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, this is long, and I try and set up some bot in his house, whatever. I don't even know like what I'm doing. Let me know what you guys think. I know it's hard to if people talk about like it reminds them of their dog and stuff, and I think that's hard. I feel bad if I did that, so I'm sorry, but let me know what you think.